Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Tharmila Rajasingam. I'm a real estate agent based in Toronto, and I have my business partner here with me, Jacob.shireman, and he's actually from Houston, Texas. And today we're going to be talking about our relationship for the past year. This February, this month actually makes our 1 year working together. So we're going to talk about what it's like working from totally different countries, working together all these literally on a daily basis virtually, and we're going to be diving into some of the tools that we use to kind of stay connected and kind of some of the things that we worked on. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the things we have in the works for 2022. In terms of let's talk about how we met and how this all came together because of our brokerage that we're with. Do you want to kind of jump in, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you sponsored me with the brokerage, so we met that way. And then we started, just like any relationship, getting to know each other on the business level. And then where it really started for me is when you invited me to Clubhouse, which I literally didn't even know what it was. And then I'm like searching for an iPhone that day, remember? And I was like literally like an hour before trying to buy an iPhone, like a used iPhone, so I can actually participate. And then we started like this Clubhouse thing about marketing, and we had other people in there too. And then we kind of just hit it off because we kind of have similar likes, and we're very similar personalities, married the same type of people. And it just kind of took off from there, and it kind of was like really fast too.
Yeah, but I think because we were communicating often, and I think you were coming to me asking about kvCORE, and right away from the type of questions you were asking, and then I got to know a little bit about your background, and then automatically when you meet someone that you see potential in, and you know that about me, and for all of you that are following our content, you know that I'm always collaborating with all the agents in our group, and I'm always doing different things with them. And because I see the potential in them as not just as leaders, but as amazing real estate agents, and I have this amazing opportunity to do that with Jacob as well. And I think you and I were one of those people that immediately connected. I think we're not, like you said, we're also both have very, like on a personal level, we're very, I think I connected with you on a personal level, like talking about our children, our partners, like our family. In some ways, we were so similar. And then on top of that, just you said it perfectly. Our strengths and some of the things that my strengths versus your strengths, and they complement each other. And I think that also kind of added to how kind of this relationship came to be.
I knew it was going to be a connection, because the first time I talked to you, I asked you, can I ask you a quick question? And that quick question turned into an hour and a half on the phone. And we didn't even like talk about the whole issue with kvCORE and how to do some setup. We started talking about other stuff and real estate and how the group is and other good things. And we just kind of clicked there. And then I think we're like, oh, it's 11 o'clock. We got to go. I got to go. So yeah, it was definitely a good connection.
Yeah, but I think also just allowing that to happen too, right? Yeah. A lot of the times when people start working with each other, and for us, we're in such a unique opportunity because our brokerage gives us really multiple ways for us to connect online, and everyone's really collaborative. We have this culture that isn't like anywhere that you can find. We're like a family. And so it made it that much more natural for us to start working together in the way that we did. And it's so interesting. We're not even working on transactions. You would think that in our relationship in real estate, you would think that I'm referring you clients and vice versa from Houston, Texas to Toronto, Ontario. No, it actually was it was about marketing. It was about improving our business, helping our agents grow their business. It's about scaling each other's business and our agents. And one of the things that really jumped at me that I loved about both of us was that we automatically, the way our lingos and terminology just balanced. A lot of the time when I'm talking to agents, even in our own group, and a lot of the time I'm, helping them with consulting, with marketing and mentoring, and really helping them, I guess, working together collaboratively. And for you and I, there were so many times where I was learning from you as well, because we both had this, again, I was good at the strategy level, thinking about, and then you were so good at the website, the design elements, the technical side, So
no, it's just, it was a perfect fit. It's kind of like when you meet somebody that you're like, oh, they understand, they're on my level. But like you said, we still learn from each other. That was the great thing, because we always sat down and like, oh, I'm not the great at this, but man, you're so good at this. And then I would say the same thing about you. And it's kind of like we balanced each other out, instead of, when you work with somebody that's good at the same thing as you, it's kind of hard, because then, you kind of butt heads a little bit. But it was just a perfect balance. And then all of a sudden we just kind of ran with it, and it was like a whirlwind. I can't believe it's been a year already.
I know, and even just for me transitioning just slightly into industries and kind of dealing with my family and family pressures and different jobs. And I think there were times where I would jump on calls with you and Josh would be, I think it's very similar happened today with Miguel. I'd be like, I'll be right back. I just have to jump on a quick call with Jacob. And then he'll be like, it's been an hour and a half. Are you still coming? And because we would dive into just working on something and we couldn't just take our head out of it. So we've done a lot of good things together. So, and which is what I want to talk about today is one of the things was I love the Clubhouse series that we did. I know that when we met in person and even just on a kind of like on a monthly basis, when we meet other agents and they talk about both of our collaborations and how they came to our YouTube channel, whether it's from yours or mine, and they always talk about our Clubhouse collaboration and some of the webinar series that we did together. So that's really touching. And, people are seeing the impact of our relationship and, these two people, because somebody said to me, hey, you and that guy from Houston, you're your partner. And I was just like, whoa, like, how did you know? And I haven't even been talking to this person. It's like, well, I saw it on LinkedIn that you would post about it, So from that perspective alone, this virtual collaboration, the impact, of continuing a relationship the way that we have. And we've seen each other once in person, and that's at EXPCon in Vegas in November. I want to tell, so what was that like for you?
Oh, it was kind of weird because I remember I got there before you guys, and just the idea of like, are we really meeting? Like, we've been working together, 10 months, 9 months, and we feel like we've met each other because we spend like 4 to 6 hours a day. We probably spend more time talking to each other than our partners, but we got there, and then I remember I was like nervous. I felt like it was like a first date or something. Like I was gonna go pick you and Josh up. I was like, oh my God, I wonder if they're gonna like me. And we kept saying that too. Like, I wonder if we're gonna like each other in person. Like, or like it's gonna be like a flop. Be like, well, there goes that company. We'll just keep a computer relationship. But going there, I remember picking you up at the airport, and I had to circle around a few times because you guys' international check-in and stuff for immigration took forever. And then I remember seeing you guys. I was like, I just didn't know what to expect. And then it was just like we met, like we knew each other, for a long time. So it was definitely an experience.
It was like that with so many people in our group at the Wolfpack, right? Like all of us, every time we met everyone, we're like, whoa. And it felt like because we would see everyone on a weekly basis, and all of a sudden now in person, it was just this massive impact. And I think our brokerage did that, right? We brought people together like us and made it natural for us to connect. And sometimes I think about it, and I talk to a lot of real estate agents, and I kind of feel bad for them that they don't have this connection or this relationship with people on a global scale, that we're able to do this with agents across the world, and that we're able to build relationship. And I gotten to know you closer than I have with some of my own coworkers that I worked with at the government, full time, that I worked with in person, that I would see them every single day. And I still had a better relationship with you, more of a connection in a way that we both saw each other's strength. We kind of driven and kind of pushed each other to do a lot of really good things together. And you wouldn't be able to find that kind of common grounds with a lot of other people, even the people that you could work with each other on a daily basis. So I kind of wanted to honor that and talk about that. And I think that you and I would see common problems and common solutions. And that was huge. You and I talk about this often in our industry. You guys will notice like everyone and their mom is all of a sudden a marketing guru. They would work as a cashier at, I don't know, Canadian Tire, and all of a sudden they get their license, and then all of a sudden they're a marketing guru. I think there are a lot of people that do amazing work, like some of the people that we're surrounded by and our partners like Mike and Connor, and they're a great leaders that kind of paved the way for us to be like, hey, you guys can create your own family of agents. And we did that, right? Look at the agents that came with us to Vegas, and we were able to, and again, all these people, we never seen them in person before. All of a sudden we all show up in Vegas and we're like, whoa, these are agents that I brought to the company. Like, isn't that amazing?
Not only that, what was crazy is like we're walking through and they're like, somebody would go, Jacob. And I'm like, who is that? And they're like, oh, and I'm acting like I know who they are. Like, I don't know if they're in our group. And some of them weren't even in our group. They were just with the company. And I'm like, I asked one, I'm like, how do you know me? Like, oh, I watch your YouTube videos. And I was like, oh, people watch those? But it's just kind of like, it was weird, but it's amazing to see, because I worked for a lot of companies. And I've worked for myself for a long time. And I've never, until EXP, seen this like online community where it felt like you were working in person. Like you almost didn't miss being there face to face with people. And then when you met people, you already had this relationship. it just kind of picked up right there and continued. And so it was
Yeah.
definitely a really amazing experience, and we do definitely owe that all to EXP.
100%. And even just ever since I joined the company, and I naturally had people just from just the content that I was putting out, people would reaching out to me saying, hey, can I learn a little bit about kvCORE? Can I learn a little bit about this? And obviously my hands are tied and I'm being pulled in multiple ways with my own team, right? With the growth of my team, I was pouring a lot of time into ours, and the amount of things that I do with our group. And then so even people in our own group, even just outside of our organization, would reach out to me from our organization, and I want to help them, but sometimes it just gets overwhelming. But then you have this unique opportunity to run mastermind calls and different exercise. And I think that kind of led us to making the Kuruvi, our social media platform that we provide to our agents. And we'll talk about that in a second, about the fact that we're going to be heading into launch, which is, when Jacob and I kind of sat together, for those that are watching, we realized that there were a lot of common issues that were coming up with a lot of our real estate agents telling us, hey, I've taken this training, or I'm stuck with content online and I just don't know how to use social media, and I'm just confused. And thankfully we have Mike Schwartz social media training that we were able to provide to our agents, and a lot of them picked that up and they ran with it because they were familiar with social media to some extent because of their personal use. And there were other agents that were still just struggling with, because of everything that was going on, I think, in their personal life and business life. And I think our product just came together to just complement both Mike's training and to help them with just giving them content. And I love that we were able to do that, especially me coming with my design and strategy, and then you coming in with all of your, the technical side of just putting together this platform.
Yeah, I mean, we always see, like, even before we even started talking, I had my mentor like, oh, you're in digital marketing? Oh, I could really use help with that. Because the pandemic hit a lot of agents hard that really did have a good sphere of influence, that were used to going to networking events, and now you can't do it. And they just weren't able to adapt that quickly. And even entering the Wolfpack, we had people, oh, you're in digital marketing, even though there's great resources there. People are just desperate for that, because as a realtor, we have to wear so many hats, and it's just a hat that people shouldn't have to wear. They
Yeah.
don't, they're a realtor, not a digital marketer. And I think us collaborating to come up with this platform is just amazing, because it allow people to put more time back into those income producing activities and still have a good, strong social media game.
Absolutely. And it kind of given everyone kind of this opportunity to, again, allow us to collaborate more. And it's so interesting that we are able to, I've never seen it even in a traditional transaction, when we're doing a real estate transaction, all the real estate agents will all go always competing and going head to head, right? You're representing the buyer or the seller.
Mhm.
And now we have this unique opportunity to people to share their own knowledge of what's working for them in their industry. And now this thing that we always thought was competition is removed, and we're all kind of clapping for each other, celebrating people's success, and sharing each other's different ways of using the CRM, or the different ways that we're doing marketing online. And I think that's huge and it's powerful. And I think you need to take that moment to kind of acknowledge that a little bit. And I think I owe it all to this idea of virtual collaborations and coming together. And I think I want to talk also about what are some of your favorite ways that we kept in touch. I think.
I
What do
mean,
you like?
with what EXP gave us on top of the other stuff that we already have. I mean, we kept in touch on Workplace, because EXP has a Facebook Workplace, and then we've done Zoom calls, which is probably our biggest staple of things.
Yeah.
And it's great just to have that link, jump in there, meet real quick, and have that capability of even recording some of our meetings. So any ideas that we have, they're already right there. We can just refer back. And we're always using WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, sending voice notes, so it's like having a phone conversation. So those are probably my top ways, because those are the easiest and most effective ways to quickly communicate and still have a log of everything you talked about.
Yeah, and then for those of you that don't know, our Facebook Workplace for EXP, it's our internal network that how we actually stay together as a community. So all 72,000 plus agents are all in there. So for example, if you want to share referral from somebody that's in India or Australia, you're able to do that. You can just go on there and find Australia agent. You can type it in and you're able to share referrals. So you have this amazing global network. So it allowed us to naturally collaborate like that anyways, just like Facebook Messenger, but privately on a professional level. So all of the distraction removed. And then Jacob and I, for what I really liked is that you and I had a standard meeting. So we met every week because we knew that we were working on things that naturally, we were doing things for agent attraction to help with our agents in our group. So we met on a weekly basis. So that made it just us two, and just collaborating and brainstorming. That was really nice. And then also I loved the fact that I'm really glad that you took up on jumping onto Asana. Is one of my favorite systems that I used to use in my old workplace. And when I left, it was something that I really wanted to use with me, and I kept adapting. I actually used it even when I was, at my full-time job site. I was still using that personally for me, Asana, because Josh and I had multiple other, managing our real estate portfolios, a number of other things Josh and I had our hands in. We were naturally using that on a personal business level, I guess. And so when we took on, became real estate agents, naturally, with all of these other elements that you and I were working on, it was so good to make another project and add you on. And now we started tracking on a business planning level. It was really helpful. So that tool really helped in terms of virtual collaboration. So if you guys are looking to partner with people across the world and you want to keep that conversations going, that dialogue going, look into things like Asana, where you can tag each other in task, keeping each other accountable. That's huge. And the other thing that I really like too is that you and I were constantly just kind of reaching out to each other. Anytime we had ideas, we could quickly voice note record on Facebook Messenger. That really helped, because anytime I'm with my kids, I wanted to save time. So that really helped. And sometimes it was dangerous. Oh, go ahead.
No. It's so much easier than like trying to get it all out typing, and then there's always typos because you're trying to do it because you're trying to get out this like great idea or this whatever you want to talk about, and it's like it's just so much easier to do a voice note, and then you got screaming kids in the background, so that's always makes it, or my dog barking at like nothing.
Yeah. Or like when I come in and I see literally like 20 slew of voice message, and you're like, oh no.
That's the con of like the negative of that is that you'll be responding, asking questions, and then I'm like, okay, there's 10 of those. I can't listen to all those. And then you'll move on to another topic. I'm like, I'm still trying to respond. Yeah. There is good and bad with it. I think you got to like figure out which voice note it was that you want to re-listen to. So you just
that's you.
Yeah, so.
Or like you record and then it doesn't send, and then you have to re-record and you forgot that 1 minute of content. Oh my goodness. So I think altogether, just to kind of wrap up this conversation, I really want to talk about some of the things that we're working on for 2022 and kind of what we're looking forward to. So what's kind of on your horizon that you're looking forward to, Jacob?
So obviously working on this project that we're doing with Karuvi and this platform. So that's kind of the biggest thing. My spouse now is full-time realtor, and I'm running our other surplus business as well. But so I'm finally happy we were able, after all the year of hard work, he was able to leave his full-time job like he'd wanted to and still have the security that we needed for him to do that. So that's a big plus. So we're working together as a real estate team. So he's going to be handling more of the transactional side of things. I'll be handling building our agents and our team. And so that's what we have there. And then just like I said, the biggest project for me is this social media content platform, because it is our baby and I geek out over it. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and for me too. And I think I'm so glad that I get to do marketing on a daily basis, and do the things that I love doing and helping all our agents, scale and build their business. And also just, you'll see me doing a lot of collaborative, events online. That's what, not just like similar things like this, lives, but bringing people on that have done really well in real estate. And one of the things that you can look forward to on our YouTube channel is the Realtor Parent Series that I've just recently started, where I'm interviewing a lot of real estate agents around the world, talking about their real stories in real estate. So that's going to be super impactful. And I'm, these are stories that I naturally have with a lot of real estate agents. People reach out to me and we talk about our family and me being pregnant, taking the course, me being on my mat leave, and then having a newborn, starting this brand new career, all these things that we talk about kind of, privately. And I wanted to bring it to light publicly so that people can know that you're not alone and that a lot of us are going through this. So that's another thing that I'm super looking forward to. And again, another common element to all of this is that they're all happening virtually. So you'll notice that there are some really interesting projects in the work, and I would love it if people can kind of get involved, get in touch with us. I'll definitely make sure to put Jacob's information in the description below as well, so that all of you can get in touch with him. I know that this gave us both a really unique opportunity to build our team on a global scale and also work with each other on a daily basis. That sometimes I know there is sometimes that need for human interaction in person. I know there's so many times you would tell me, I just wish that you live close by so I can call you over and I can show you some of the ideas that I had. So there's always these limitations because I love that you said this, when we met each other in Vegas that day, and it was pretty much sleepless nights for the next 6 days because we were up all night.
Oh, we were.
Because we're just
I think we
catching
slept like
up.
most 3 hours like in the night. It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
because we were out the first night. We're like, oh wait, I don't want to go back. Is the day over with yet? Like we went back, slept real quick, and just started again. It's like,
yeah, I'm really glad that we were in Vegas and nowhere else. So it made perfect sense that we were awake. Everything was lit. So, but right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and kind of tuning in. We really appreciate it. We really wanted to, talk a little bit about 2021 recap, talk about some of the things we have in plan for 2022, and really talk more about the fact that especially we finally at a year of Jacob and I working together. So it was just a perfect topic for us to talk about this virtual collaboration, especially in the light of everything that's going on with the pandemic and people kind of forced to work in this way. So we wanted to show that people who are in totally different country, different space, doing very similar things, and how we kept this relationship going. So thank you, Jacob, so much for joining me. I really appreciate you kind of jumping on and joining me on a lot of these collaborative events.
No problem. Thank you for having me. It was fun. I love doing these. So
thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful week and stay connected.
bye, guys.